Well, welcome everyone, friends and family of the Pacific Northwest Conference. My name is Eric Cave. I'm our Director of Next Gen Ministries. And today I've got a couple of friends from Trinity Covenant Church in Salem, Jon and Cliff. They're going to tell us about an exciting program that they've had going on at their church. So Jon and Cliff, would you quickly introduce yourselves? And then I'll ask you some more questions to tell us about what's going on there.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. I'm Pastor Jon Lemmond. I'm the lead pastor here at Trinity Covenant Church here in Salem, Oregon. I came on staff in October 1st of 2018.
And I'm Cliff Herman. I'm the director of our distance learning program. I have been a member of this church for almost 30 years, and I came on board to run our after-school program, which we started in 2003.
Great. So this after school program, I've heard a lot about it throughout the years, but this last year it expanded, something new happened, and that's what we're here to talk about. So please tell us what have you been doing is relating to this distance learning program that your church has been a part of?
Right. Well, that's something new is COVID, right? And it disrupted everything. And we were it disrupted our after-school care program as schools closed, and we found ourselves wanting to care for the many people in our community that we saw struggling. What we were really concerned about was that kids were going to be home having to learn, in our neighborhood, many with single-parent families or families where both parents had to work and they weren't able to supervise their children. So we wanted to provide something for them that would allow them to continue to work where their kid could have a safe place to do their online distance learning here at the church. And so I turned this over to Cliff because we've been doing this after-school care program for 17 years. We had to hire additional staff. And we just started welcoming kids here at the church to do their distance learning. It was a way to bless our Liberty Elementary School, which is right catty corner to the church, to work with them and their principal and their teachers and staff. And it proved to be, I think, an amazing program.
That's great. So Jon, or Cliff, whoever wants to tell me, I know that there is a grant that was a part of this that was enabled you guys to be able to do this really well. Tell me a little bit more about that and how it came about.
I'll do it.
I'm trying to think of the details here.
I can talk about it.
Yeah.
It has to do with money, so I'm always thinking about that, right? So of course, to be a distance learning center program, we had to do an application with the state to be able to run it, right? We couldn't just say as a church that we wanted to do it. We had to have state approval. And in getting state approval, an amazing thing happened that we didn't expect. They actually gave us a $14,000 grant to continue running the program, and we didn't even ask for it. It just showed up. And that was quite a blessing. And so it's what allowed us to hire that additional staff and be able to do the work that we needed to do.
That's incredible. That's such a cool story.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. God has been really good. So
yeah. So good. Cliff, tell us a little bit more from your experience with this, and if you can unpack a little bit how you feel like this has been a blessing to your community.
Yeah, it's been it's been quite the experience as far as just a steep learning curve, I think, for us, and I know for the teachers over at school, so forth, with this online learning and the technical parts of it. And we had to follow the Department of Education guidelines. There was like 64 pages of we had to comb through and go through in order to have the health and safety part of that whole program. And so there was a lot of planning that went into that, a lot of preparation, a lot of thinking of how we were going to adjust. And so we did all that. We we did training, and then we were limited on how many kids we could take according to the guidelines. So we were limited to a number of 20 at that time. I tried to provide a sense of normality, structure for these kids, because this is all new. It's new for us, it's new for them. And so we'd have schedule each day, and we would schedule in things for fun things that we would do, so that and I think one of the most important parts of that is the social interaction that kids would have, because I learned really early on that just picturing kids sitting at home by themselves, looking at a screen with their fellow students in their classroom, but they're only this big on their screen. And so I tried to provide opportunities for kids to interact, to have fun within that schedule. And so I think that's one of the benefits for the kids that came here, was that they were able to interact with kids. So I think that for the kids, that's a real benefit. And for the parents themselves, we have a lot of parents that are all of them work during the day, and single parents. And so they were really struggling, trying to, how's this going to work? How am I going to work? How am I going to get my kid to be in school online? And so we were able to provide that. Hey, have them come here. We have a safe place. We'll have a structure for your child to be in class.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and even like with the YMCA, I think they were offering something initially, but like they were charging a couple of $100 a month. And so we were able to do this. I mean, our commitment was to offer it for free, so that none of these parents had to pay anything, and that they were getting to, they were associating this help, this place of safety, this place of that says we care about you, and they were able to associate with us, the church. And there's plenty that the church is associated with in our world that we might not wish. This was not one of them. This is a good thing.
Yeah, and awesome. I've had several parents who have expressed great appreciation for what we're doing, who have just said outright, I don't know what I would have done if you guys had not been here to provide this service.
Yeah. Well, thank you to both of you and your church for being that presence in your community, to being Jesus for those people. It's awesome. So tell me, what has it been like? What has this experience been like for your larger church? How has it affected or had an impact on Trinity?
Well, for one, it's an example of the ways in which, if even amidst hardship, if you're able to listen well, God will show you opportunities for service and being together. It was Cliff who was able to organize our volunteers. Again, we had some protocols that we had to deal with, but we could have volunteers who would welcome the kids every morning, who would check them in, that would check their temperature and ask them the COVID questions that we've all now learned. Cliff just even sent around an email. You want to tell them about that? I thought that was powerful.
I had a parent who sent me an email last week that said she has two children, one a fifth grader and one a third grade child. And she told me that her son, her third grader, had said his favorite part of the day is the greeting that he gets from our volunteers at the check-in. That's what he looks forward to. And that's just wonderful. That to me, it just shows that. And I told them that, I said, you're doing exactly what Jesus would do.
Yeah.
Because you are, you are showing you care for these kids, and they will. I've seen them talk. They'll be talking from 10, 15 minutes when they check them in.
Yeah.
And
so I think, of course, that blesses our people to have an opportunity for service. Again, as we've been, so many churches have been shut down and we've been sort of in our homes and alienated. It's been one way for us to come together as a community. It has deepened our relationship with Liberty. And so we have some new vision and new connection. In a week, we're going to be helping give them a new courtyard where we're going to be doing some landscaping and providing tables for them. And we're going to do that as a church, serving together. And so that's a real blessing to us as well. It's given us new eyes to the ways in which we should really lean into and love on our neighbors in our immediate area.
I just want to say thanks again. Thank you so much for being servants and being available and allowing the Holy Spirit to work this out in your midst. And for putting that grant to good work to make a difference in your community and those students, those people's lives. So thank you so much. Would it be okay if others were to reach out to you if they had more questions or
Absolutely.
Good. I'll include contact information underneath this video. All right. Well, thank you again. And thank you for following along and watching this video with us. Please pray for Jon and Cliff and for Trinity Covenant as they move forward and making a difference in their community. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks.